Today we're playing a new legacy combo deck that's been gaining a lot of notoriety, Aluren-Tell, where we're winning with Formidable Speaker into Acererak. Let's go check it out. Once again, let's say thank you to Matthew Story for another donation deck here at the Epic Storm. And Matthew wanted to see the deck that's been rising through the ranks recently, Aluren-Tell. So we're playing this 4-mana enchantment from Tempest. 2 and 2 green, 4 mana total. Each player may play creature spells at instant speed if they have the mana value of 3 or less. So the idea here is that you want to play Formidable Speaker from Lower Wind Eclipsed, discard any card, and then search out Acererak the Archlich. And then if you haven't completed Tomb of Annihilation, you return it to your hand. So you always want to pick that middle dungeon, which allows you to drain your opponent for 1 life. And then this creature will return. Okay, well that allows you to do it infinitely because you can play the creature for free off of Aluren. So you can infinitely drain your opponent for 1 life. It's a lot of clicks, but it is a win. Alternatively, you are a show and tell strategy into Omniscience. If you put in Formidable Speaker, you can search out Atraxa Grand Unifier and then, chain Atraxas until you have a hand with a bunch of copies of Force of Will and pass the turn if you're looking to win a little bit more quickly. What's nice about this deck, Aluren is symmetrical. The Omniscience win isn't. So if you show and tell in Omniscience and then play Formidable Speaker into Acererak the Archlich, which, is still a win because Omniscience, just like Aluren, allows you to play the Acererak for free. Except the Omniscience, not symmetrical. There's no chance for your opponent to kill you that way. So this deck is dual-faceted. It's highly synergistic. It's pretty linear. It really only does one thing. And because of that, you have cards like Brainstorm, Ponder, and Stock Up to make sure that you find either Show and Tell or Aluren. That is the idea here. You have a bunch of interaction between Veil of Summer and Force of Will, and then sideboard cards like Consign to Memory and Force of Negation. People seem to think that this deck's pretty good. I'm not as convinced, but I'm open to being wrong. I hope we do well today and that I do end up being wrong. Let's find out if that happens, and I will see you in match number 1. Don't go anywhere. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Welcome to the first match with Legacy Aluren-Tell. We are on the play. Well, we have Aluren, we have Show and Tell, and we have the Formidable Speaker. So this is actually a turn 2 win with Force of Will backup. I suppose we keep those. We're on the play too, which is pretty nice. We'll play the Misty Rainforest. My bad, it's not a turn 2 win. I would need a blue card. Alright, maybe we'll surveil into a blue card here. They play a Polluted Delta for a basic island and a Ponder. They did not shuffle on the Ponder. We'll fetch, grab the Hedge Maze. That is not a blue card. I'm going to risk it. I'm going to bin the Tropical Island. It could bite me in the butt if they wasteland me and I don't draw a blue card, but we'll see. Okay, we did not. I suppose I could just slam Show and Tell here. Like, what's the downside? They force it and then next turn I just hardcast the Aluren. Alright, it is resolved. We will put in Aluren. They put in Emrakul the Aeon's Torn. We will play Formidable Speaker. Discard a card, we'll get rid of the Aluren. We'll now search out Acererak, and we'll play it. And our opponent concedes! Nice. Okay. So we're playing a Show and Tell mirror match. We likely want the Veil of Summers. Maybe the Force of Negation. So that's 64 cards. I wonder if you just board out the Lotus Petals and try to be a little bit more slow here. A little bit more interactive. Let's try this out. 19 lands is still quite a few. I will say that. So it's not like we're low on mana sources. Game number 2 on the draw. I don't believe I'm allowed to keep a no mana source hand. We will mulligan. This one's not bad. We'll get rid of the Acererak. They play Volcanic Island. Omniscience, not a terrible draw. They play Ancient Tomb. Hexing Squelcher. I love it. I mean, I love the card. I don't love it against me. Yeah, that's a Hexing Squelcher. And step we will fetch. Grab the Hedge Maze. Don't need an island. Well, actually, I do. All right, we'll keep the island. Fine. We'll play Brainstorm. I think we should just get rid of the 2 pieces of counter magic here. They don't help me. And then we'll play Misty Rainforest and pass. They play a Scalding Tarn, 5 cards in their hand. We'll fetch. Grab the other copy of Hedge Maze. Don't want Force of Will. That can go to the graveyard. Veil of Summer, not a bad draw. We'll play Stock Up here. And now we're looking for Show and Tell or Aluren. We find Show and Tell. And then, do I even want the Atraxa? I think Ponder would be better. Because if they countered the Show and Tell, having Ponder to find another Show and Tell or the Aluren would be better. So now we'll play Ponder. Another Veil of Summer. So I could play double protected Show and Tell next turn. Alright. Let's hope I'm not dead. They fetch with Scalding Tarn for a Thundering Falls. City of Traders to the graveyard. They have 6 cards in hand now. They go to combat. I am not dead. Not yet, at least. I'm at 12 life. They have 17. The One Ring. Okay. I don't know if Acererak wins through that or not. I guess we'll find out. They play a Volcanic Island. We'll play the Tropical Island. And Show and Tell. We'll put an Omniscience. Mind over Matter. So they can draw their entire library right now. Spicy deck. We'll begin by playing Atraxa. I think I would like to respond to this. Veil of Summer? I guess I don't have to tap mana. What am I doing? We'll Veil of Summer here. And now we'll Veil of Summer again in response. So they can now untap the ring. I guess they'll be able to go infinite anyway. Yeah, so I never had a window here. So me playing the Veil of Summers that way didn't matter. Yeah, they had too many cards in hand. Alright, I'm willing to concede here. They'll be able to draw their entire library, counter both my Veils, and like they have 4 Force of Wills, I have 4 action cards. I'd rather just not sit through that. Alright, so I don't think I did anything wrong. I'm going to just try to resubmit. Game number 3 on the play. Yeah, this is great. Keep. We'll play Hedge Maze, keep the Ponder, and we'll pass. They play a Scalding Tarn. We'll play Misty Rainforest and the Ponder. Ooh, that was very good. Alright, so I think we stack it so Veil of Summer is on the bottom. I mean, I'm pretty far away from double Veil of Summer back up. And the Atraxa is our blue card for this Force of Negation. They search out Thundering Falls. And they surveil away Show and Tell. They put Scalding Tarn into play. We'll draw the City of Traders, but we're going to play Misty Rainforest and pass. They play a Volcanic Island. And I think here we can just check them. Like, just play one of our 2 copies of Veil of Summer and say, hey, you have to counter this. They spell Pierce. I'm going to just pay the 2. Veil of Summer. We draw a card. It's our other Surveil land. No! Alright, we have to pass. They play a Lotus Petal and a land. Cunning Wish. I think that this is a pretty good Force of Negation target. Exile the Atraxa. They have 4 cards left. And step we'll fetch. I don't want to draw any more lands. So we'll grab Tropical Island and another Tropical Island. Force of Will. Let's try the Aluren. They Force of Will exiling Show and Tell. I will Veil of Summer. Aluren resolves. We'll play the Formidable Speaker. And the opponent concedes the match. I am the Show and Tell master. Clearly, I've won the mirror. Not all skill, no luck involved. No sarcasm, clearly. Alright, so jokes aside, we're 1-0 in this Legacy League. Deck felt pretty powerful. Let's see if we can win match number 2. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. We are back for the second match, and we are on the draw. Our opponent has been playing Eldrazi recently. I didn't look up the results. It's just I saw a 5-0 the other day with Eldrazi. They could be playing something else. I think we try this. No counter magic makes me a little bit nervous. I'm willing to bet that they Chalice the Void for 0 if they are playing it, and I unfortunately have a Lotus Petal in my hand, but they're not. They play a first turn Tameo Inquisitive Student. City of Traders, a decent draw. We'll play Hedge Maze, keep the Brainstorm. play the Lotus Petal, and I will pass the turn. They attack and create a clue, and Brainstorm. What a combo. They plus the Tameo and a Wasteland. Not very kind. Okay. We'll play Polluted Delta, fetch. The question here is, am I supposed to get an island? I think so. I don't think I can afford another Wasteland in this spot. We'll play Ponder. This is interesting. The problem is the Tameo. So I'm like almost pressured to win quickly, and this basic island doesn't cast Aluren. So I think I'm supposed to shuffle because I also need a Formidable Speaker. And we draw Omniscience. Not a great draw either. Flooded Strand for a Tundra. Up the Beanstalk. They're at 6 loyalty already. Ancient Tomb. I think we should try to play stock up this turn. We find the Formidable Speaker and the green source for the Aluren. The problem is I can't protect my win. Okay, I will pass the turn. My best draw by far is another Lotus Petal. Forcible wouldn't be bad either. If I drew Show and Tell, I could Veil of Summer to protect the Show and Tell and then put in Aluren. And the reason you would put in Aluren over the Omniscience is that if they have Leyline Binding, Aluren allows you to win at instant speed where Omniscience doesn't. They're going to return the Brainstorm here, so I no longer have to worry about the Tameo ultimate. So that gives me a little bit more time. They played Misty Rainforest into Xander's Lounge, and now a Leyline Binding. So they're going to kill my Petal. I might as well Brainstorm here. We did find the Show and Tell, so I have a protected win next turn. We could probably get rid of the City of Traders. Alright, we're going to try to make some magic happen. We'll play the Misty Rainforest, fetch, grab a Tropical Island, play the Lotus Petal, and we'll attempt a Show and Tell. A Force of Will, I will try to Veil of Summer. They have 3 cards left in their hand. My Veil of Summer resolves. Now the Show and Tell will put in Aluren. They have a Leyline Binding. Alright, so we will respond with the Formidable Speaker and then kill them with this Leyline Binding still on the stack. Discard the Omniscience. We'll grab the Acererak, flash it in, auto yield to this ability, and our opponent has conceded. Alright, so it went away without me clicking the button. You always need to pick the middle dungeon first. But we haven't had to do that today, thankfully. Alright, so we're facing Beanstalk control. We probably want the defense grid. I wouldn't mind Carpet of Flowers. Veil of Summer's probably decent. I'm less convinced about Force of Negation. And like, you could bring in Consign to Memory for Leyline Binding. That is a possibility. No matter what, I'm pretty sure I want to get rid of Lotus Petals again. But we're already at 61. So I'm not sure if I want more cards out of my sideboard. I brought in 2 Veil of Summers, 2 Carpet of Flowers, and a defense grid. We got rid of 4 Lotus Petals. I need 1 more cut. It might be a little risky. I think I'm going to board down a City of Traders. It's a longer matchup. I'm bringing in 2 copies of Carpet of Flowers. I hope that it works. Game number 2 on the draw, we will keep. This hand's solid, but you do need a way to win the game. They play a turn 1 Ponder, and we drew Aluren. What a draw. Alright, so now we just need more mana. So ideally, this Ponder would find like a Carpet of Flowers or something. Wow. Running hot. We will keep all of this. Put the land on the bottom for now. I'm putting stock up in the middle, which might be a little bit greedy. Maybe I should have kept the other land. I don't know. They fetch with the Flooded Strand for a Tropical Island. Up the Beanstalk. Okay. I think I'm going to sit on the Carpet of Flowers for a turn and hope that they play another land that makes it even better. My fear is that it's hit by a Leyline Binding and I actually need that mana. We'll play the Tropical Island, and I will pass. I'm going to use a Surveil land on their end step. They do grab the Xander's Lounge. That's a pretty strong read for Leyline Binding, in my opinion. Misty Rainforest. 3 mana here. Is this an Uro? What the colors would indicate, but who knows. 3 blue. Narset Parter of Veils. This one's interesting because I don't think I even care about Narset. I'm going to let it go. They find Force of Will. I mean, I do care about that, so that's unfortunate. We will fetch. Grab a Hedge Maze. Get rid of the Ponder. We don't care. Alright, let's see what we can do. Ancient Tomb, a good draw. Let's play the Carpet of Flowers. And now we'll play the Ancient Tomb. Switch phases. Carpet of Flowers triggers. Yes. We'll make 3 green. And we'll tap the Ancient Tomb. Let's try Aluren. We know that they have a Force of Will. You're supposed to use the Veil of Summer on the Force of Will, because if they have a Consign to Memory, you need to Force of Will that, because the Formidable Speaker trigger could be countered by a Consign to Memory. After much deliberation, the Aluren resolved. We'll play the Formidable Speaker for free. And now they're fetching in response to the Formidable Speaker. This could be like a Leyline Binding on the Aluren, and it is. We're going to respond to the draw here. I will Force of Will the Leyline Binding. We know that they have a Force of Will in their hand. They Force of Negation, so it looks like they're going to win this fight. We will Veil of Summer, and they Force of Will, exiling Force of Will. Bummer. Okay, looks like we're going to lose this battle here. They had all the interaction. They're already back up to 3 cards in hand. The Leyline Binding can exile the Aluren. And now the Formidable Speaker. So I could grab a Troxa here. Is that better than my stock up? I don't think so. So we'll just pass. Opponent had triple force that turn. Pretty good. They're up to 4 cards now. They can go up to 5 with the Narset. And they do use the Narset again. They find another Leyline Binding. We draw Brainstorm. I would like to kill this Narset. We'll attack the Narset. And they're going to use the Leyline Binding. They draw a card off up the Beanstalk. And then they can exile my Formidable Speaker. We'll use the Carpet of Flowers. Yes. We'll make blue mana. And we'll play stock up. They still have 4 cards in their hand. Looks like they have Pyroblast here too. Okay. Not looking great for the home team. Instead, they have Felia, Exuberant Shepherd. They can blink their Narset now. Alright, so I guess I'll let them attack and blink the Narset, make sure that they see the line. I guess blinking up the Beanstalk is also just insane here. And they have Riddler. We can just go to the next one. No changes on my side. I mean, our opponent rolled a little bit high on the variance scale there. So we're going to just try to, keep another good hand. Hopefully the odds fall in our favor. Alright, game number 3 of match 2. We're on the play. Just the Ancient Tomb is not going to cut it here. Unfortunate. Mulligan. This is decent. We'll keep and get rid of the basic island. Put in the Hedge Maze. Surveil. I like a Force of Will. They have Misty Rainforest and they pass. We'll play Ancient Tomb and stock up. They Force of Negation, exile on the Quantum Riddler. I will Force of Will and pitch the Omniscience. I don't really want to Omniscience in this matchup anyway. Stock up. Because the Omniscience loses the Leyline Binding. We'll grab stock up and a Veil of Summer. Like, you really want to Aluren so that way you can win in response to Leyline Binding. They get rid of a Swords to Plowshares. To be clear, that was off of the Meticulous Archive Surveil. 2 mana here. And they warp a Quantum Riddler. We find the other Omniscience. I'll play another stock up. We'll grab... This one's actually really close. Do I want the Formidable Speaker? Or do I want the stock up? I guess I could do Formidable Speaker stock up. Part of me wants to take the Brainstorm so I can convert this Omniscience into something useful. I'll take Brainstorm and stock up. Pass the turn. They play main phase Brainstorm. This is likely a tell that they're looking for land number 3. They find a Misty Rainforest. I'm going to Surveil here. It does mess up my Brainstorm fetch stock up next turn, I'm well aware. But hopefully the Brainstorm finds a land anyway and I don't have to think about it. Keep the Force of Will. And now I will Brainstorm. That was solid. We'll get rid of the Omniscience. Actually, do I want Omniscience for Force of Will? We'll put back... No, I'm going to get rid of the Omniscience, I think. And Formidable Speaker. We'll play Beseiju. And now let's stock up. Because I think we're at the point where I can exile Show and Tell as my blue card. They search out Volcanic Island. They Pyroblast. I will Veil of Summer. I do not draw a card off the Veil of Summer. We find both the Aluren and the Formidable Speaker. So I have a double protected win next turn. They have 4 cards in their hand about to drop to 5. They play a Brainstorm. Interesting that they're tapping the Meticulous Archive. That is a pretty good signal that they do not have Leyline Binding, or at least didn't before they played the Brainstorm. But it also might mean they have another Pyroblast or a Veil of Summer of their own. Alright. Flooded Strand, so now they have another white source for a Tundra. Lavinia. I don't know if I care about Lavinia. I have 4 lands. Oh, I guess Lavinia matters because if I play a spell off the Aluren, it would be countered. Alright, so we'll attempt a force here. The Veil of Summer can help protect it, but if they fought back, it would be good for me. They did not fight back. They have 3 cards in hand. Atraxa. We'll play the Aluren. And now we'll play Formidable Speaker. Trigger. Discard the Atraxa. We'll grab Acererak. And now we'll flash it in. Triggers. And the opponent says GG's. GG's to our opponent. The deck fought pretty well that game, and we are now 2-0. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $15.99. This token combo pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens featuring classic Storm and Mana tokens with new inclusions such as our modern Ruby Storm package, but that's not all. Our token pack covers a variety of formats from Pauper to CDH with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. Match number 3, we are on the draw. This hand is unplayable. I am sending it back. This one's much better. We'll get rid of the Atraxa Grand Unifier. Really need some mana, but everything else is there, so we're going to try it out. They play Underground Sea into Ponder. Another Aluren was not what we needed. We'll play the Ponder. Well, 3 lands is pretty good. Misty Rainforest on the bottom. We'll keep the others. Pass. They play a Polluted Delta and Tameo Inquisitive Student. We'll play Hedge Maze. We're going to end up keeping this Misty Rainforest, and we'll pass the turn. They fetch with Polluted Delta, Undercity Sewers, and they kept that card on top. They play a basic island, and now they swing. They create a clue. Thoughtseize. So this hurts. If I were in their shoes, I would take the Formidable Speaker. But let's see what they opt to do. They choose Stock Up. I don't mind that. Like, I don't think Stock Up was a crucial card in this spot. They sacrifice the clue. We'll play the Hedge Maze. I don't think we need a Lotus Petal. Pass the turn. They play Basic Swamp. 5 cards still in their hand. They attack. Create that clue token. Doomsday. Okay. Here I thought that they were Dimir Tempo. Okay. We might be dead. If I had recognized that they were Doomsday, I would have slammed a Show and Tell last turn. 1 Force of Will, 2 Force of Will, 3 Force of Wills, all 4 copies of Force of Will in their exile pile. So's the Diamond, so I don't think we're dead this turn. The one tricky thing here is if I play Aluren, they could just cycle into the Oracle and kill me. Alright, they have 5 cards in their hand. Another Formidable Speaker, so that means that I could play the Aluren now and then win in response to their Thassa's Oracle. We will try Show and Tell. We know that they don't have a Force of Will. They could have a Daze. I see 1 Daze, 2 Daze. Interesting cat and mouse game we're in right now. They cycle Street Wraith, cycle Street Wraith. They only need 1 more draw. Yeah, okay. So a Brainstorm here wins it for them. Any draw card wins it for them. They just had all the cyclers in their hand. They could have killed me on their turn, let's be honest. I think they got a little too cute. Actually, I could win in response to their Thassa's Oracle. We'll put in Aluren. Yeah, they definitely got too cute. So their Surveillant triggers. I don't need to do anything here. I can just wait. They have no mana floating. Let's say they have Oracle in hand. They only have 1 Thoughtseize here, so I'm worried about a Thoughtseize next turn. Alright, I'm going to just pass. Maybe I'm being foolish. So if they have a Thoughtseize, they would then have more mana open, or they might have double Oracle. Do I see any Oracles in there? No, there's no Oracles. All right, so I'm going to do the Formidable Speaker now. Let's see if they try to respond. If they have double Thassa's Oracle, that is a punish for waiting. Because I don't see any copies of Thassa's Oracle in the exile here. And now we'll flash in the other Formidable Speaker. Do you have the second Thassa's Oracle? My Speaker resolves. Discard the Aluren. I think our opponent got way too cute. That is my honest feedback here. They could have just won on their turn, and instead they came up with this cute line to win off my Show and Tell when I could have been dead. And we end up winning the game because of it. I'll take it. I mean, Magic is a game where you really need to punish your opponent's misplays, and I'm not trying to dog our opponent here, but I do think that they could have played more optimally, and because of that, we get to take a game that we didn't deserve. So I will board in the Consign to Memories here. We might want Carpet of Flowers. I'm not even sure if we do, but Doomsday is a little bit slower. We'll board out Lotus Petals again. 65 cards is a lot. We likely don't need the Boseiju Who Endures or the Second City of Traders. That's a lot of mana coming out, but we are facing a deck that traditionally doesn't play Wasteland. 63 cards now. There are some lists out there that only play 3 Formidable Speaker, so we could probably get rid of one of those. And then like maybe 2 copies of Atraxa Grand Unifier. We'll try this. If we draw an island, let me tell you, this hand is solid. But if we don't, it looks real bad. I think you're supposed to send this back, unfortunately. Come on. We're going to 5. We will begrudgingly keep bottom 1 copy of Atraxa and the Aluren. I think you're supposed to keep 1 Atraxa as a Force of Will target. And then my plan here is to stock up to get back into this game. They get rid of a Consign to Memory. City of Traders. We'll play the island. I'm sorry, the Misty Rainforest and pass. Tavern of Souls. Name's Rogue. Dauthi Voidwalker. Okay, sure. Oh, I guess I was supposed to fetch in response. So this way, whatever card I reveal, they don't get off the Dauthi Voidwalker. My bad. Max punished. We have to keep it now where I would have binned it previously. That is insane. We'll play Island here and pass. Oh, that's funny. A slight error in judgment and immediately max punished. And I talked about that in game 1. Your opponent could have taken advantage of that. And now, I mean, the advantage that they get here is I have a card I don't want in my hand. Wasteland. I guess I was wrong about that. Goodbye to my Hedge Maze. And they attack for 3. I'll go to 16. The old Wasteland Cavern of Souls deck. Show and Tell. So I technically have a win here. I can Show and Tell with Force of Will backup, put in the Omniscience, and then Atraxa. We'll go for it. I mean, we need our opponent to not have a hand that interacts. They Force of Negation. I will Force of Will. They had double Force. Okay, so I'm a little punished here because I kept Omniscience into Atraxa instead of the stock up. Maybe I should have just gotten rid of the Omniscience and put in the Atraxa, and that might have been good enough. And then I'd have a stock up backup in case it wasn't. So I think that's on me. They play Polluted Delta with 1 card in hand. Maybe I'll get lucky and draw another copy of Show and Tell. Veil of Summer, not great in this spot. They fetch with the Polluted Delta. So that's twice this game I think I've made a mistake. They search out an Undercity Sewers. Because I think I probably should have kept the stock up. They play a Bloodstained Mire. If their last card in hand is Doomsday, I would have to draw exactly Show and Tell to be in this. And they're fetching, so I think it is the Doomsday. Alright, I'm good to concede there. Alright, so I could have played that game better in 2 spots, and it cost me, so, you know, acknowledged. And now we're going to try to win the next one. So if I had kept stock up, I would have looked at these 5, and then I would have gotten 2 more draw steps, which wouldn't have done it. Okay. I mean, just good to know. I think I still want the Carpet of Flowers. Going to just resubmit. On the play for game 3. Sure, we'll keep. I think I want to ponder looking for a Force of Will in case they kept a Dark Ritual Doomsday hand. I'm willing to bet that post-board they've sided out their Dark Rituals, but you never know. So we'll play a Ponder. Solid. I mean, I don't love the Acererak, but I do like the other cards. Then I will pass. They play Lotus Petal, Polluted Delta, and now they fetch. Thoughtseize. I'm going to allow this to resolve. My hope here is that they take the Show and Tell, because I don't actually care about the Show and Tell. They take the stock up. Okay. So I can play turn 2 Formidable Speaker for the Atraxa, because I don't want to draw the Acererak on top of the library, so we'll play Formidable Speaker. And I'm holding the Carpet of Flowers because it's just, I don't need to give them that information. I'll discard the Hedge Maze, grab the Atraxa, and we'll pass. They play Dauthi Voidwalker, that resolves. I would really love it if we drew a... Ooh, Wasteland. Okay. Oh, I was going to say a blue card, but now I'm multiple mana off. We did not draw a blue card, but I'll take a Misty Rainforest. We'll play Carpet of Flowers and go to combat. Their creature has Shadow, so they can not block. And if this comes down to a race between a Dauthi Voidwalker and a Formidable Speaker, it is not the end of the world because they are a Doomsday deck. So every little chip I get in with the Formidable Speaker does have consequences later on. They play a Brainstorm and another Wasteland. Okay. Annoying, but not the end of the world. They swing. I go to 14. We're going to grab the other hedge maze on the end step. Surveil. That allows me to play through a daze, but I don't have the blue card. So I think we're going to keep the City of Traders, but then we're going to hold it until I can play Show and Tell with Force back up. And now we'll go to combat. Swing. Pass the turn. They have 5 cards in their hand. Dark Ritual. Doomsday. Am I supposed to just let this resolve? What is in my exile? I have 3 lands in my exile. So I think letting this go is okay. Like, they're not going to be able to cantrip into Doomsday from my side. There's 1 Force of Will, 2 Force of Will, 3 Force of Will. So they likely have 1 in their hand or 1 in the pile. 1 Force of Negation. So there's probably at least a Force of Will or Force of Will in their hand and then 1 in the pile. The Cavern of Souls is in the pile. So I would need to find one of my 3 copies of Consigned to Memory. And they do not attack. I need that blue card here. We did not draw it. Oh no. We did not draw it. I'll make blue mana. Play the City of Traders. I'm trying to think through this. We have 4 mana in play. I can tap the City of Traders and then untap it using the Formidable Speaker. That brings me up to 5. That is still 1 mana short of Formidable Speaker. Or no, then I'd have to discard a card. That doesn't work either. Let's try Show and Tell. They Force of Negation. They have 1 card. This is risky. My game plan here is put in the Formidable Speaker and hopefully attack for 4 to win. They have 1 card in hand. So if they built like a Brainstorm Lion's Eye Diamond pile, Lion's Eye Diamond is in exile. So if like Oracle's in hand and then it's all cyclers, that could do it. We're going to use the Dothy Voidwalker here. Okay. And they use my own Force of Will. Sure. So we'll attack for 4. I'm sorry, attack for 2, putting them to 4. We'll draw a card next turn. This might give them the time they need, unfortunately. They cycle Street Wraith to 2. Fetch land Oracle kills me. Cycling Edge of Autumn also does it. So they had 2 cyclers in their hand into Cavern Oracle. Pretty good. Yeah. We needed a better draw than Formidable Speaker for our turn. So if I had surveilled away the City of Traders, I wouldn't have had enough mana to play the Show and Tell. I would have been stuck on 2. But if I had, we would have drawn a blue card. But I wouldn't have had 3 mana. So I think I had to keep the City of Traders. It just didn't work our way. Alright, so we are now 2-1. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. Let's bounce back in match number 4. We're on the draw. I don't think we're really allowed to keep the triple Show and Tell hand with 1 mana, so we'll send that back. All the payoffs in the world, no mana. I think this hand is a trap hand. We'll go to 5. Probably the best hand we've seen. I'll keep and put Show and Tell and Ponder on the bottom. I think with a hand like this, you're really hoping our opponent is not a blue deck. They played turn 1 Flooded Strand, 4 blue decks in a row. Oh my. Tundra, Aether Vial. So this is probably the like Esper Vial strategy. We'll play Boseiju Who Endures and Lotus Petal. Pass the turn. At the beginning of their upkeep, Aether Vial goes to 1, and they ponder. They did not shuffle, and they did not play land number 2, which means that they likely have a Force of Will. Oh, they are playing land number 2, okay. Scrubland, another Lotus Petal. I think I'm going to take a turn off here and just stock up rather than just jamming a win. I'd like to try to find backup if possible. That is the backup. Force of Will and Show and Tell. We will pass the turn. I could play out the Lotus Petal right now, but I'd be afraid that they have some sort of creature that would exile it, and that would make things a little awkward, so I'm going to hold it in hand. Aether Vial goes to the second counter. They play Meticulous Archive. It's rid of Dread Return, so you're Cephalid Breakfast. Okay, Cephalid Breakfast with Aether Vial. I wasn't expecting that. Alright, time for glory. We'll play the Lotus Petal. I think it... No, that's dumb. Never mind. Ignore me. I was going to say it's better to Show and Tell in the Aluren, and then I remembered I only have the 1 blue card for Force of Will, and it's the Show and Tell. That is not a possibility. They have Daze. That makes me cry a little bit. We'll exile Show and Tell. The mulligan to 5 really showing itself here. And they Forcible back, exiling a Narcomoeba. So I'm at least 2 draw steps away because I need another mana for the Aluren, but I also need another card to discard to the Formidable Speaker. They have the Cephalid Illusionist, which is the tough part of the combo to have. Looks like they're attacking. They might not have the other piece. Stock up that I cannot cast. So that could be my card for Formidable Speaker if we can find a green mana next turn. They fetch with Flooded Strand, or Undercity Sewers, Surveils away Underground Sea. Either Vial on 2 counters stays there. Another Meticulous Archive. Kept that card on top, so we are likely dead. Alright, deck. What's 1 green mana between friends? Let's see it. Nope. We will pass the turn. They're attacking. I'm at 12. Let's try Show and Tell. See if this resolves. Put in Aluren. Stoneforge Mystic. Couldn't that have killed me? They have 1 card in hand. I'm going to just try to kill them in response. Discard the stock up. Like, couldn't you have grabbed a Shuko and then killed me? We'll grab the Acererak. Yield to the trigger. We do the Lost Mine of Phandelver. We get to scry 1. I guess people that would complain that I never actually had to go through the combo get to see it now. Because this opponent doesn't look like they're conceding. We'll do Goblin Lair. I don't know if it matters. Okay. We'll do Storeroom. I should actually read these. So the next one is Dark Pool. That's the one we want. Because that's the one that drains. Okay, so it looks like I must have not selected the right path that time. We'll do the Lost Mine of Phandelver again. Because this is the one that has the drain 1. Show and Tell on the bottom. We'll cast it again. 21 minutes on the clock. We'll do Mine Tunnels. We create a treasure. Play the Acererak again. Dark Pool. This was the one that drains them, right? Yeah. Okay. And now we just keep on going. I'm going to mute for a little bit while I do this, just because I don't need to narrate all of these clicks for you. Alright, so my opponent is not conceding. I'm going to let this Stoneforge Mystic resolve because I'm already down to 17 minutes. What I can do is I can just cast the Omniscience and then go get a Traxa and then win pretty quickly. They grabbed Shuko. They could have won on their turn. I don't know what they were thinking. We'll play Lotus Petal. And now we will sacrifice a bunch of treasures. And if for some reason I can't win with the Atraxa, I can just respond and kill them with the Acererak. It's just, clicking through this takes a lot of time. I'm already down to 17 minutes and I don't want to time out. So we'll play the Omniscience, play Formidable Speaker, auto yield here, discard the Hedge Maze, we'll grab Atraxa, play Atraxa, trigger, take another Atraxa, Force of Will, Ponder, Lotus Petal, Island, Aluren. Okay. We'll play another Lotus Petal, play another Atraxa, take another Atraxa, Formidable Speaker. Oh, no, I can't because I'm taking the Atraxa. You know what? Let's take the Formidable Speaker so that way I have more power. Take Veil of Summer, stock up, and a land. We'll play Formidable Speaker, discard, grab another Formidable Speaker, play it, discard a land, grab another Atraxa. We'll play Atraxa. Big Brainstorm, Ponder, Show and Tell. I can't take Show and Tell. Tropical Island, Aluren, and Atraxa. We'll play another Aluren, play a Ponder, shuffle, stock up, take another stock up, Show and Tell. I don't know if this is actually any faster at this point. I was hoping to just find the extra Force of Will. We'll play another stock up, take Ponder land, play a Ponder. I'm just going to shuffle and pass. This is taking up too much time. Alright, so we'll go to cleanup. Once again, if I need to kill them in response, I can. Alright, their turn. Down to 14 minutes. So they can use the Stoneforge to put in the Shuko, but I'm pretty sure I can beat their Dread Return. Even if they have Oracle in hand, I could kill them in response. My concern is that I've already used half my clock in game number 1. So they're going to put in the Shuko. We'll let them deck themselves. Oracle is in the graveyard, so they don't even have the Oracle in their hand. So they could have gone Stoneforge Shuko last turn. My only thought is they did exile 1 Narcomoeba to the Force of Will, so I wonder if they didn't have 2 Narcomoebas to reveal, or even 1. But why wouldn't you have more than 1 Narcomoeba in your deck? That seems so odd. Yeah, that would have been a win last turn. Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking. 2 cards left in their deck. I will Force of Will the Dread Return. Alright, they concede. So, a little under half of our clock left. We'll bring in Grafdigger's Cage, the Fairy Macabres. I think we probably want Consign to Memory. I like Veil of Summer. We've had a lot of blue combo matchups. I don't know if you're actually supposed to board out Lotus Petal this often. 64. Probably board down a couple copies of Atraxa, 1 Formidable Speaker, and maybe like 1 City of Traders. Game 2 on the draw. I mean, this hand is great. Keep. I hope that they go for a very quick win that loses to Fairy Macabre. That would be delightful. They play a Polluted Delta for a Scrubland. Ball Therapy, so they will see my Fairy Macabre here. They name Aluren. So they know about the Fairy Macabre, so they're not likely to play into it. I love the Show and Tell draw, though. We're only 1 mana away from being able to Show and Tell into Atraxa. They play Island. We'll fetch. Give me that Ancient Tomb, though. Edge Maze. I don't think I need another Consign to Memory. Well, there's an Ancient Tomb. We'll play Tropical Island, pass. So I could have just jammed right there. I think it's a little reckless when I can wait for double backup next turn. They play a Plains, 3 cards in their hand. Another Force of Will, I love that. Play Show and Tell. Put in Atraxa Grand Unifier. Nothing for them. Atraxa triggers. Looks like they have a Consign to Memory. Towards to Plowshares. Do I want to fight here? I think so. We will exile Consign to Memory. They have 2 cards in their hand. So if they Force of Will this back, I have the Veil of Summer that they've seen. We'll take Omniscience. Actually, no. The Aluren's probably better. We'll take Aluren, Grafdigger's Cage, Forest, stock up Brainstorm, and then let's play Grafdigger's Cage. Pass the turn. Our opponent has conceded the match, and we are now 3-1. The Gold Sabertooth times the Epic Storm collection has arrived with 3 full-size tokens showcasing the beloved Dark Ritual, CDH Rogsai, and Legacy of the Epic Storm for just $5. On the backs of these tokens, there's a place for my signature or a custom message. In addition to these sweet tokens, a friendly reminder that all orders that ship from theepicstorm.com also come with a signed Storm token from yours truly. The final round of this Legacy League, we are on the play. We're on the draw. We've opened up a hand with Force of Will backup, though. We have Veil of Summer. What we're lacking is combo pieces, but we have 2 cantrips. I think this hand is just fine. They play a Volcanic Island into Ponder. 5 blue decks. Welcome to Legacy. Oops, all spells are blue. As I record this, it's Tuesday, February 3rd. The BNR has not happened yet, but I'm hoping that present Bryant will be happy with future Bryant next week. We'll see. We'll play Misty Rainforest. Grab Basic Island, and let's play our own Ponder. My best botch and roll impression here. I think I like these, and then we'll pass. They play Scalding Tarn, Fetching, Volcanic Island. You have a Dragon's Rage Channeler. Another Dragon's Rage Channeler. The clock is on. We'll play Hedge Maze, get rid of the Basic Island on top, and pass the turn. They Lightning Bolt in their upkeep, so they do get 2 Surveil triggers here. They have Land Sorcery, and then with Lightning Bolt, they'll have Instant. So they're pretty close to Delirium. They surveilled away a Wasteland, which tells me they feel like they need more interaction, or they have another Wasteland already in hand, and a second Wasteland. We'll take 2 here, going down to 14. Aluren, not a bad draw. We will pass. They have 4 cards in their hand. Quarry Steelcutter. They get rid of a Dragon's Rage Channeler, so that does give them Delirium. And a 3rd Wasteland. I'm going to brainstorm in response and see what my top cards look like before letting this resolve. So I can play Aluren next turn, through Days with Forceful backup. The issue is that I can't actually do anything with it. So we'll just put 2 lands on top, I think. So if I let this resolve and they make a Monk, I'm actually dead on board. So I think I should Force of Will this. And we'll get rid of Brainstorm. This will put me to 7. So I'm not quite dead. Not yet, at least. They have 3 in hand. We'll play City of Traders. We'll play out Lotus Petal. We'll try a stock up. We found the Formidable Speaker. Force of Will doesn't help me here because if I have to Force of Will, I'm going to be at 1 life. So that's not great. I don't know if any other card here actually matters. We'll take Brainstorm, I suppose. Now we have to pass. This Veil of Summer isn't even backup unless I draw another Lotus Petal or like a tropical island. They play Ponder. They did not shuffle. So the attack here puts me to 1. I'm dead to another Lightning Bolt. Dead to a lot of cards here, to be honest. And that'll do. Okay. Could have gone better for us. This is definitely not a matchup where you want to board out Lotus Petal. You need all the mana you can get here. We want Carpet of Flowers, and we want Veil of Summer. Probably the defense grid, too. Probably board down a couple copies of Atraxa, board out a Formidable Speaker. And now we need 2 more cuts. Maybe a Boseiju who endures. I wonder if they're actually supposed to just be Omniscience. Like, Omniscience into Atraxa is probably good enough in this matchup. And then we'll bring back in 1 Atraxa. We'll try this. On the play. Sure. I mean, it's not an amazing hand. We'll play Misty Rainforest and pass. They play a Polluted Delta. I think I'm going to sit on the Misty for a turn or 2 just to avoid Wasteland. Well, that was a great draw. Okay. They fetch with Polluted Delta. Thundering Falls. Another Polluted Delta. Dragon's Rage Channeler. I'm going to grab a Hedge Maze here. I could grab the Forest to play around Wasteland, but I'm going to be playing out a Tropical Island anyway, so I might as well try to get my Surveil equity here. Keep the Ponder. Hopefully it helps find Carpet of Flowers. We'll play Tropical Island. Play the Ponder. Ancient Tomb. So Ancient Tomb would allow me to win next turn through a Daze. I think I'm okay with that. We'll pass. They Surveil when they play Mishra's Bauble. And now they're going to see a stock up. They fetch with the Polluted Delta. Volcanic Island. Wasteland, unfortunate. Tropical Island down. I do have a Polluted Delta underneath the stock up. And now they Ponder. Gets rid of Dragon's Rage Channeler. This will give them Delirium. They have 4 cards in their hand. I'll take 3 down to 16. They draw off the Bauble up to 5 cards. We draw stock up and let's play stock up. I'm at 14 now. They Pyroblast. I would like to Force of Will here. See if they fight over this. And they do. Okay. So our top card is Polluted Delta, which would win the game if they don't have any more interaction. They kept a card on top. It's a Storm Chaser's Talent. I don't care about that. Gets rid of a Scalding Tarn. And now they swing. I'm at 10. We will fetch. I'm at 9. Grab Tropical Island. We'll go to 7. And cast Aluren. Their last 2 cards in hand are Force of Will blue card. Okay, so currently they can attack me for 4 on their turn. They would put me to 3, which is just enough life to tap that Ancient Tomb into the win. Like a land here is what we wanted them to draw. I would take a Delver Secrets. Ponder shuts off the Ancient Tomb. Alright, we're officially in trouble. They Surveil away a Volcanic Island. City of Traders or Carpet of Flowers just became our best draws. Actually, no. I don't have a card that wins it for me anymore. Because I would need a card to discard the Formidable Speaker. So even if I were to draw City of Traders or Carpet, I am dead on board. That stinks. I guess I could draw like... Oh, that's actually just lethal. Wow. Alright, well I guess I was never getting another turn. So we end up losing the final round to Delver, where they had 3 pieces of interaction pretty quickly, and that happens. That's what Delver does. I thought the deck was fairly impressive. Like, it was decent. I thought this is about how I thought we would perform. 5 blue decks is obviously not the matchup lottery that you want, but the deck performed quite well. Is it a tier 1 deck? Obviously not. But I think it's a lot better than the previous Aluren decks of the format. It's much more playable. I think that this is a great deck for a League or a Friday Night Magic, that sort of thing. It was a lot of fun. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you to Matthew Story once again for another donation deck. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. As always, keep storming. If you enjoyed this video, you might also like the Eternal Glory podcast featuring myself, Bryant Cook, alongside Brian Koval, known as Bosch and Roll, and Phil Gallagher, aka Thrabian University, where we discuss legacy theories, strategies, ban restricted announcements, and so much more. We're available on all major podcast platforms and YouTube.